Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the JK Cements Q1 FY22 earnings conference call hosted by PhillipCapital India Private Limited. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then zero on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I would now like to hand the conference over to Mr. Vaibhav Agarwal from PhillipCapital India Private Limited. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Janice. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of PhillipCapital India Private Limited, we welcome you to the Q1 FY22 call of JK Cement Limited. On the call, we have with us Mr. Ajay Kumar Saraogi, Deputy Managing Director and CFO, and Mr. Prashant Seth, President and Deputy CFO. I would like to mention on behalf of JK Cement Limited and its management that certain statements that may be made or discussed on the conference call may be forward-looking statements related to future developments and the current performance. These statements are subject to a number of risks, uncertainties, and other important factors which may cause the actual developments and the results to differ materially from the statements made. JK Cement Limited and the management of the company assumes no obligation to update or alter these forward-looking statements, whether as a result of new information or future events or otherwise. I will now hand over the floor to the manager of JK Cement Limited for their opening remarks, which will follow by interactive Q&A. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Vaibhav. Good evening. The Board of Directors met on 14th of August to review the working of the company for the first quarter, that is April-June 21. I'll just give you a brief outline so then take up the question answers of the time. The revenue from operations was 1,634 crores as against 2,052 crores of last quarter, and a decline of 20%. And the EBITDA during the quarter was 400 crores as against 439 crores, a drop of 9%. The finance cost was 56 crores as against 53 crores, an increase of 6%. The profit before tax was 305 crores against 355 crores, a drop of 14%. And the profit after tax was 208 crores as against 63 crores, an increase of 229%. This is because in the previous quarter we had an extraordinary exception. The EPS for the year for the quarter was 20.95 paisa as against 8 rupees 20 paisa. The EBITDA margins during the quarter was 24.95% as against 21.65%. As you would have already gone through the other details, I will just take up the question answers. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and one on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and two. Participants are requested to use handset while asking a question. A reminder to the participants, if you have a question, please press star then one. The first question is from the line of Naveen Sahadev from Edelweiss. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm audible. So thank you for the opportunity, and congratulations on good set of numbers. So first of all, glad to see the new logo of JK Cement brand. Also, it's very nice to see the new template for the quarterly presentation. So it clearly shows the change of leadership at the top. Talking about which, I would like to understand if the young management at JK Cement, is there any vision of capacity creation or a milestone set by the company? Recently, we saw some other companies setting milestones or capacity targets. So with a young leadership at JK Cement, is there any capacity or any sort of a vision target that you would like to share at this point in time?
So, Naveen, at this point of time, we do not have a clear, a target. We say that we would like to in next 5 to 10 years, this would be our vision. We are working at it. We have various opportunities, so we are reviewing all those opportunities, and with that, looking to our working, what could be our target, and maybe very shortly we will share that also with all of you. But at the same time, broadly, yes, we want to maintain our leadership in the region where we are. So we are primarily in the north, and as immediate plan, we are expanding our market. So we are uh, setting up a greenfield plant in central India. There we have a potential to grow up to 15 million tons of capacity can be put up at that particular point at that location. So we can say yes, we have a plan for another 10 to 12 million tons already there. We have other opportunities and we are working on that, and we will share the same with everybody shortly.
Okay, thank you. That's helpful. So my second question then was with regards to ESG. This is with reference to slide 3 of your quarterly presentation, which has very specific targets set by the company, but these are like 2030, mainly towards CO2 emissions, the clinker factor, and most glaring, I think, the green power percentage from 25 all the way up to 75%. So can you please help us understand how the company plans to achieve these targets? Is there any capex involved? Are there any milestones towards achieving these targets?
Yes, Naveen, we have set up the milestone first towards the performance and the efficiencies, like improvement in the clinker ratio, increase in the blended cement ratio, and then reduction in the power consumption, thermal substitution, increase in the thermal substitution by using the alternate fuels, and in more green power. One is that green power on account of the more emphasis on the waste heat recovery power now instead of the coal-based power. So one is in the new expansion at Panna, we are only setting a waste heat recovery power of 22 megawatts. There is no coal-based power plant. Further, we are also looking at possibilities of more tie-up for the solar and the wind power. So these all are the factors which will contribute to reduction in the carbon emission.
I would like to add here, we are also planning a waste heat at our south plant, but that is the only plant where we do not have a waste heat recovery system. So as a next step, we are also planning a waste heat recovery plant in the for the south plant. So we are conscious about our responsibilities, and we are working towards that. And this is a target based, and we definitely we are going to, we have a team which reviews it, and it has also been seen by our CEO directly, so that we do not slip over there. Are working in this direction, and we are hopeful that we'll be able to achieve it.
So just one follow-up on this, because 75%, to me at least, it's a bit of a glaring number. So is there a broad breakup that how much will be waste heat, how much will be like, the rest of the solar and wind? If you have a very broad breakup to that, because I'll put it in a context. Shree Cement is probably the one company where the waste heat capacity is the highest amongst all the companies per ton of cement, if I may say so. So that contributes around 50% of their total power requirement. So I'm just trying to understand that 75%, when you say, how much of that will be waste heat and the balance that we are looking at?
So you see, presently we are 25%, and it is mainly driven by the waste heat. So as a next step, we can say definitely going forward 50% plus would be waste heat, and balance should be, and other power. That's a broad number, so there'll be fine tuning to that, but definitely 50% plus should be waste heat.
Okay. I have more questions. I'll come back in queue. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Reminder to the participants, if you wish to ask a question, please press star then one on your touchtone telephone. The next question is from the line of Amit Murarka from Motilal Oswal AMC. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Good evening. So, first question is on employee cost. So in this quarter, I see that there's a significant jump in cost on a QOQ basis. So what would be the reason for that?
So see, the increase is mainly on account of the increments released from 1st of April. So 10% cost increase is on account of the increments and quarter on quarter. And balance is like some new recruitments are taking place on account of the expanded markets and the expansion.
So we should see this as a sustainable number then.
Yeah, that is sustainable. Yes.
Okay. And also in terms of the grey cement revenue, just wanted to confirm there's no one-off in that, right?
No, there is no one-off.
Okay. No, just on a QOQ basis, the realization seems to have improved quite a bit. I guess that would be because of lower clinker sales in that sense.
Realization has improved, yes.
No, sir, the per ton realization improvement is also because of the change in mix, because in the previous quarter we had clinker sales.
Yeah.
Non-trade also.
And since the volume was also higher in that quarter, the non-trade sales was also higher. So.
Right. Yeah, that's what I guessed. Actually, just wanted to check if there's one-off. Fine. Also, could you share the fuel mix in this quarter?
It's around 40% of petcoke and balance imported coal and the alternate fuels.
Sure. And also any further update on the Panna plant? The groundbreaking, I believe, has happened, I think, and you mentioned that major equipments have been ordered.
Yeah. So on the Panna plant, the groundbreaking was done on 5th of May, and orders for all the main plant and equipment, the civil contractor and the mechanical, everything has already been finalized. They are already at the site, and the lot of work has already been done, and pre-monsoon have been able to come filing, and even the work on the preheater building and everything has already started. So there is a good progress which has been done so far.
Right. And the Panna plant and the Hamirpur grinding unit, everything will be commissioned by March 23, right?
Yeah. That is our internal, that by March 23 we should be commissioning everything.
Sure. And lastly, could you just touch upon the pricing during the monsoon months of July and August? How much has the correction been, let's say, in post June?
Yeah, there is a dip in the pricing of about 5 to 6 rupees a bag.
So 5 to 6 both in north or south, and south has been more?
Yeah, it is. The south has been marginally higher.
Okay. And are the non-trade prices holding on, as in the gap between trade and non-trade?
Well, the gap between trade and non-trade would be around 30 rupees a bag.
Okay, sure. And lastly, just quickly on demand. So we saw a good pickup in June. I believe July was a bit softer. And would it be right to say that August would be even softer than July?
Yeah, of course, we could maybe at the same level, but still, I mean, as of now, it's more or less same.
Oh, sure. That's all from my side. We'll come back. Thanks.
Thank you. Participants, if you wish to ask a question, please press star then one on your touchtone telephone. The next question is from the line of Prateek Kumar from Antique Stock Broking. Please go ahead.
Hello. Yeah, good evening, everyone. My first question is regarding the white cement realization during this quarter. They had particularly some pertinent decline of around 3.5%-4% quarter-on-quarter, like versus March quarter. Any specific reason there or change in production?
Yeah, see, as you know, the white cement is mostly the white business, both white cement and putty, they are more sold in the urban areas. So first quarter had, practically 2 months of lockdown. And because of the lockdown and closure of this has affected the white volumes are also lower during this quarter. April and May were really bad for the white cement business.
So the putty component in the mix is higher, so the average price is lower.
Yeah, the putty mix is lower.
Putty mix is lower.
Yeah, because there's lower volumes of putty and white cement during the quarter.
But I'm asking like for like numbers only for white cement versus in March quarter. I mean in June quarter versus March quarter.
This is what I'm saying. In the month of June quarter, the volumes of white was. I will give you the exact volumes. The white volumes was 2,63,000 tons as against 3,93,000 tons in the previous quarter.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe I'll take that offline. My second question is on your capex. So, including, I think we have mentioned some numbers on Panna capex in our annual report. You're looking to do 1,600 crore related to Panna in FY23. So, what is the consolidated capex we are expecting for FY22 and FY23?
No, capex for FY22 with the balance activities or balance payments of the 4.2 million expansion and the Nimbahera upgradation work which is going on. With Panna expansion, we are expecting around 1,250 crores of capex in this year. And our total capex in next year would be 1,400 crores.
Okay, but our annual report mentions 1,600 crore Panna related capex in FY23. So no, that number is not correct or something?
No, 1,600 capex is on Panna. Then we have a Hamirpur grinding unit also.
Right. Okay. And this earlier we were also aggressively like targeting completion of this unit by December quarter itself of 22. So December 22. So now we are like quite firm on this getting by March 23.
So see, December is still on, but because of the COVID situation, so we are be on a safer side. We are talking about March 23, but internally we are trying to work towards still December 22 as a commissioning.
Sure, sir. That's it from my side. Thank you so much.
Thank you. To ask a question, please press star then 1. The next question is from the line of Shanti Patel from Shanti Patel Investment. Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir. My question is, what is our capacity utilization in the previous quarter? That is Q1.
It was 71%.
71. Normally that is the case, or it is little lower than what it should be?
No, see, we have seen a very high capacity utilization in the previous quarter.
Correct.
So we do not expect lower than this because we lost 1 month because of the COVID. That is why also the utilization was low.
Okay. Second thing, after the expansion gets over, either in the last quarter, that is December, or work comes towards March, as you reported, what will be the contribution in terms of turnover from that extra capacity which will come into force?
So, that capacity is 4 million tons. So, out of, we have a 14 million tons present capacity. So, around 25% additional volumes come. There should be an additional volumes coming from after the expansion.
And that expansion, the capacity utilization will be, how it will be, programmed?
60% in the year one.
50, correct.
60%.
60, okay.
So we expect about 50-60% in year one and ramping up to 75% for the next subsequent.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. To ask a question, please press star then one. The next question is from the line of Jia Chhabria from Audis Wealth. Please go ahead. Jia Chhabria, your line is unmuted. You may please go ahead with your question. As there's no response from the current participant, we take the next question from the line of Shravan Shah from Dolat Capital. Also, I'd like to remind participants, if you have a question, please press star then one. Over to you, Mr. Shah.
Yeah. Sir, first of all, the remaining capex for the 4.2 MTPA, 50-60 crore, is it done or it is still pending?
So part of it is already done, only some balancing for the OLB spinning. So I would say by September everything should be completed.
Okay. And in terms of the capex, when we are saying 1250 crore for this year, so last time we have given around 900 odd crore for Panna this year, and next year 12 to 13 crore,
Yeah,
12
right.
to 1300 crore. So that remains the same. Nothing changes.
The same. Panna is about 900 and balance 350 is towards the normal capex and some capex on the spillover of 4.2 million and on the upgradation of line 3.
Okay, got it. And secondly, last time we have talked about that we are keeping a benchmark in terms of the EBITDA margin 25%. So that still remains intact.
Yeah, in the first quarter we are 24.95. Our EBITDA margins are well in line. So we are working towards that.
Okay.
We are
And sir,
24.95% in first quarter.
Yeah. Sir, I need a couple of data points. Trade share, lead distance, OPC, PPC share.
Yeah, 1 second. The trade was 68% in this quarter.
Okay.
And the blended cement was 62%.
Okay.
And average lead distance was 450 kilometers.
450 kilometers, slightly lower. So in terms, yeah. So two aspects in terms of the petcoke and the coal cost, which is increasing, and the diesel price, and at the same time we are also expecting some savings from the upgradation of the line 3 Nimbara. So net, how do we see it in terms of going forward, cost increase and cost savings on this aspect?
So, going forward, as far as the cost increase is there, even on the petcoke, because we had, a good inventory and some contracts, we could get some opportunity volume. So that is why the whole increase of the petcoke is not reflected this quarter. And even in the present quarter, also only part of 50% of the same would be visible. Major, the full impact of the cost increase of petcoke from the third quarter onwards. The diesel price increase impact is also already there. It costs, but we are able to, the benefits of expansion which we have concluded, and the lower cost and the various cost cutting measures which we have taken. that with that we are not seeing overall increase in the cost. But even in this quarter, there would be, some increase in the cost. Uh, because of the line 3 upgradation, the kiln is under shutdown and we have to operate the low efficiency kiln, where we incur higher cost. But the real savings of the expansion and retrofit from quarter 3, and which should be able to mitigate all the cost increase because of pet coke and other things. Unless we are able, that is how we see on.
Okay. Lastly, sir, a clarification in terms of this quarter. If I look at in terms of the our net debt has actually increased by 265 odd crores. So, and if I combine the PAT plus depreciation, so that is a 274 crore, and the capex would be around 190-200 odd crores. So, is it fair to assume that the working capital has increased, and that would have led to a increase in the net debt?
In case of net debt, this is the position of a standalone position. But we have also during this quarter paid about 100 crores of debt for Fujairah. So this position of net debt increase, yes, we have invested on the Panna, and we have paid 100 crores of Fujairah debt. That is the major reason for the increase in net debt.
So our guidance of 3,000 crore net debt stands remains the same.
Yeah. We will not. I mean, that is a very on the higher side only. We on a net debt position of 3,000 crores. We will never cross that.
Okay. Thank you and all the best, sir.
Thank you. To ask a question, please press star then 1. The next question is from the line of Rajesh Ravi from HDFC Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi sir, good evening. Am I audible?
Yeah, good evening.
Sir, would you please share the revenues and volumes of UAE operations?
Yeah, for UAE, the volume was 103,000 tons.
103,000. And revenue?
Revenue, I will inform you separately.
Okay, and how much of this was already booked through standalone?
Difference of consolidated and standalone is the UAE revenue.
Okay, sure, that I'll get through. And how much of these was already booked in the standalone?
Pardon?
How much of the UAE volume is sold through India operations?
Yeah,
or how much is sold in India?
No, that's about 4,000 tons.
Only 4,000 tons in this quarter.
4,000 tons per month. It's about 12,000 tons.
Okay, so the normal run rate was maintained.
So in this quarter, I know this is a normal run rate, but in this quarter, because of the pandemic, volume numbers are lower.
What was the volume number in this quarter?
12,000 tons.
12,000 tons, okay. And also, can you share what was the average fuel cost for you in Q1 and how is the situation in Q2?
No, fuel cost, if you see, there is a 10% increase in the pet coke pricing. So overall, yes, because of the inventory and all that, in our case, the pet coke price, but the imported coal price has also gone up to the similar level.
Okay.
So overall, we can see that there is a 10% increase in the fuel cost.
That is, you're talking of Q2 or Q1?
No, Q1.
So Q1 10% increase on an overall basis was versus fourth quarter, right?
Yes.
And how much? What is the scenario in Q2 versus Q1?
Q2 scenario is it is higher than the previous quarter. If you see the increase in the pricing, in the last quarter pricing average at the present position is like we have seen an increase of say 2,500 rupees per ton in the petcoke price
Okay.
from the average price of the previous quarter till now.
Okay.
And similarly, the imported prices have also gone up by $25.
Okay. So both of them are up by almost 25% or
Yes.
25-30%. And this is on consumption basis you are talking about or on purchase basis?
Purchase basis.
Okay. So no, on consumption basis, because you would be having some inventory of the lower cost, so the impact in 2Q may not be more than 10-15%?
Yeah. On the consumption, it will be about 10%
Okay.
increase, but this is the procurement rates have gone up. So because of our inventory and the impact on us, even in this second quarter, would be only about 10%.
So the overall impact will be visible in the third quarter.
Third quarter, right. And on the putty side, we are now 1.2 million ton. What is the total utilization in FY21 for the putty?
So see again, FY21 for putty was last year was also partially affected because of COVID.
Correct.
With that, if we see and then you are seeing effective capacity at the beginning of the capacity was 9 lakh tons only. Again,
Right.
we did about 7 lakh tons of
720. Yeah.
So we did about 80%, or if you take as the opening capacity.
Okay.
We did about 80%. Otherwise,
Okay.
on an enhanced capacity, 1.6 lakh tons.
So 55% on.
Hello. So it is currently on the expanded capacity. You still have headroom for next 2 years.
So the putty capacity now is keeping in view the peak month demand. It is not an average demand. So putty is a cyclical business. So you have to have the capacity to meet out the peak demand.
Correct. Okay. I was just looking at an aspect by when you would be looking to add further capacities, and do we have brownfield expansion capabilities on the putty side?
So immediately there is no need, and we are working out on what are the options and what we need to do, looking to the increase in the demand because we don't need any capacity at least for the up to fiscal 23.
Okay. Okay, sir. That's all from my end. I'll come back and see you. Thank you.
Thank you. Participants, to ask a question, please press star and then 1. Please know this is a final reminder for questions, and no further reminders will be placed after this. The next question is from the line of Hiten Borisha from Joindre Capital. Please go ahead.
Thanks for the question, sir. So, can you let me know what was the volume numbers for this quarter and for the last quarter?
Yeah, sure.
The standalone volume numbers, sir.
Yeah, volume number for this quarter was overall it was 3 million tons.
Okay.
And last quarter it was 3.89.
Okay. And so my second question is on bookkeeping side. Any changes in the cash and debt compared to last quarter?
So that is already given. Our cash position from last quarter has reduced from 1707 to 1411, and the gross debt has also reduced from 2841 to 2810.
Yes, okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Prateek Kumar from Antique Stock Broking. Please go ahead.
Thanks for the opportunity again, sir. I have just one question regarding amalgamation. So when can we expect amalgamation of the Panna subsidiary with the standalone operation?
So we have just finalized, and we are filing the amalgamation, the scheme. So I think it should take, another about 6 months time, 6 to 8 months time minimum. It depends, we need to have certain confirmations from the various government authorities, state government authorities for the merger, and so that we do not face any problems going forward. So I think keeping that in view should take about 6 to 8 months time.
Thank you. That was the only question.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Amit Murarka from Motilal Oswal AMC. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. So just a question on value-added products. So what would be the revenue that you are generating from these products as of now?
No, so we are not exactly sharing the numbers of value-added products. We would not be able to share the numbers separately because of business confidentiality.
Okay. But when you classify it between gray and white cement, so is it added in white cement revenue?
Yeah,
Where is it added?
The products are part of the white business.
Part of the white business revenue.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Thanks.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Nishant Bagrecha from InCred Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity, sir. So I have a follow-up question from the earlier participant. So as your petcoke consumption formed around 40% of the fuel mix during the quarter, during the 1Q, and on quarter-on-quarter it was, I think in 4Q FY21 it was 35%. So again, your petcoke prices have further increased by around 2,500 rupees per ton during this 2Q. So what would be the petcoke consumption going forward? It will increase here on, or it will stay at the same, around 40%?
Oh, so yeah, we plan that we have sufficient inventory and we could be able to maintain this 40% at least for next few months, and then we'll see. I think because otherwise, we have to go for imported coal. So we would like to maintain present ratio by with minor tweak of 5-7%. So either with anything ranging between 55 to 5% should be the petcoke consumption.
Okay. And sir, lastly on the last quarter, you have mentioned that the balance activity of the OLBC for Mines 2 plant for limestone transportation is going on. So is it completed, or when you are expecting it to complete, sir?
Yeah, another 2 months it should get completed.
Okay, in next 2 months.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Rashish Shah from ICICI Direct. Please go ahead. Rashish Shah, you may please go ahead with your question.
Yeah. My question is with regards to your UAE subsidiary. What is the current outstanding debt post-repayment of 100 crore, and are we expecting some further impairment in this fiscal as well?
See, as far as debt is concerned, the present outstanding of debt is around 258 crores, and that should get repaid over the next 2 years. And we do not foresee any further impairment. So this is based on how you foresee the business in the current scenario, and we will review the position going forward next year, but we are hopeful that there should not be any further impairment, but it will depend on how the positions, how we foresee the position at the year end.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Uttam Shriman from Axis Securities. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thanks for giving the opportunity. Sir, I just need gross and net debt on consolidated basis.
The gross debt on consolidated basis is like 2810 plus 258 crores.
Okay.
So it is
Okay, sir.
3068 crores.
Okay, and net debt, sir?
Cash remaining same.
Cash remaining same. Okay,
Yeah.
sir. Yeah. Yeah, that's all from my side.
657.
Okay, sir. Yeah. Okay, sir. That's all from my side.
Okay.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Shravan Shah from Dolat Capital. Please go ahead.
Sir, working capital loan of 115 crore as on March, is it the same or has there any change?
It is more or less same. It is in the range of 125 crores.
Okay. And sir, what is the road rail mix for this quarter?
Rail was 16%.
16%. So road share has increased in this quarter.
Yes.
And in terms of the premium, we said 2% YOY improvement. So premium share is how much now?
It is around 5%.
5%. Okay. And sir, when we are saying that we may look at the WHRS at our Karnataka South plant and also can look at the solar plants also. So anything specific in this year and any capex that what we are looking at this year particularly?
No, so as far as solar is concerned, we are not going on a capex model. So it is an OPEX model, so it is not reflected in the capital expenditure. And WHRS, we are working out the details. I said that is a part of the ESG and environmental plan going forward. So we are still have not committed the expenditure. We are working out the details, and there is a possibility of WHRS for the South plant.
But even if it is there, how much broad number 10 megawatts or it would be around 15-20 megawatts?
Yeah, it will be around 15 megawatts. The cost should be around 150 to 175 crores, ballpark numbers.
Okay. Got it. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Naveen Sahadeo from Edelweiss. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the follow-up opportunity. So just a couple of questions. Clinker sale was how much for the quarter?
1 second. Yeah, it was 76,000 tons.
76,000 tons.
Yeah.
Okay. Sequentially, the presentation says blended cement share increased by about 4% quarter on quarter.
Yeah.
And in response to a previous question, you also said that it's about 62%. Is that correct? Did I hear correct?
Correct.
Blended
correct.
cement overall, 62%. So what is, let's say, a possibility to increase this further realistically in the coming 1 to 2 years?
So we are working to increase the one more trade sale, which will again result in increase in the blended cement. So we are looking at maybe maybe up to 70% of blended cement. But having said so, this is a plan, but it also a lot depends on how the demand increases. If the major drivers of demand is infrastructure and which requires more of steel, then there may be some small tweaking in the blended cement.
But if I understand correctly, the central India expansion or the region market for central India expansion, that is largely a blended market, or is it north?
That is largely a blended market. I'm talking about immediate. The impact of central India would come in 2024.
Understood. And then one question on the white cement realization. Sequentially, somebody asked, previous participant, that sequentially the realizations are down by about 3.5%. Is it also fair to assume that sequentially the margins for this segment also, I know you don't give breakup, I'm not asking for a specific number, just directional sense, that is it fair to assume that the margins for white segment also would be down sequentially?
I will not say so, because if we are earlier with the same thing, if we are able to maintain a 25% EBITDA margins for company as a whole, so
Right.
we should not be either way any way off, whether in white or grey.
No, I was just
Company as a whole 25% EBITDA margins.
No, sorry. Directionally, I was only seeing it this way that your presentation says grey cement realizations increased by 6% quarter on quarter and white cement is down. So
Yes, because this quarter I said white cement has been adversely affected because of an exceptionally low volume quarter for the white business.
Okay, but you're saying margins may not have been hit despite the realizations.
No, because yes, when we had also cut down a lot of expenditure for white business on the branding and other things. So which will be done in a normal period, which is now when we have done quite well in the month of June for the white business. The July month was good as compared to here or any July month.
Okay, and my last question, this is about the efficiency. So beginning of let's say I think maybe if I may say 2 years back when we were looking to install this 4.2 million ton of recently commissioned capex, we were looking at gains of roughly around, if I'm not wrong, 150 rupees per ton of overall cost savings coming from, let's say, this 4.2 million ton capacity, including the waste heat recovery and everything. So is all of that realized, or the best is yet to come? How should one look at it?
Yeah, mostly it is realized. The best is yet to come, I would say. Best has always been, we want to, from 100, in North 150, we would like to get 160, 175. So because, we would have a continuous running from the third quarter onwards. I think the best would come in the third quarter. But out of 150, I think over 100 rupees a ton has already been realized.
And when you say continuous running in the third quarter, are you referring to the upgradation of Nimbahera, which will then contribute full-blown efficiencies?
Looking to the demand should be better. And otherwise, there has been, the demand. We expect a better demand from the third quarter.
Okay, demand has its own dynamics, but per se, from an efficiency perspective, Q3 can really see further improvement in terms of overall efficiencies that we have achieved so far.
Yeah.
Okay. That's really helpful, sir, and thank you very much. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you. We take the last question from the line of Rajesh Ravi from HDFC Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, sir, on the consolidated gross debt number, March quarter number on the gross side is 3,625 odd crores or 3,600 crores. So where do we stand versus that number, long, short, all included?
No, gross debt, if you see, we have reduced because we have done repayments in this quarter.
100 odd, okay.
120 crores in UAE, 35.
Mm-hmm. Hello.
Standalone, see the gross debt standalone as on 31st March was 2841, which is reduced to 2810 as on 30th June. The gross debt of Dara was 360 crores, which is reduced to 258 crores.
And how about the short-term borrowings, which was on standalone basis or on a 100 and on a console basis 150 crore?
More or less at the same level.
So that is at same level. So okay, so this 3,060 or 3,070 crore plus 150 crore, I should look at the total consolidated, right?
If you are adding the CC limits.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. And on one follow-up on on the white cement versus gray cement margin. In this quarter, the gray cement realization have firmed up by almost 6-7% Q-on-Q. Part of it is lower clinker and lower non-fed. But is it unfair to assume that sequentially your gray cement margin would have expanded at a faster pace, and compared to the white putty where you saw a 3% realization dip, so sequentially the margins would have come off partly in the white cement and gray cement would have seen an expansion?
No, not much. Again, yes, there is a dip in the white during the quarter, but the expense also reduced. There is no major shift, and it is only a temporary impact, which is not there from I think the normal months for the white business. So was July.
Okay. Okay. And lastly, on the petcoke, what was the share you said in Q1? 40% or 30%? You said?
Q1 it is 40%, 40.
And 40. And 2Q, have you cut down significantly or it is at similar level?
No, not much of a change.
Okay.
Because see, imported coal prices are also going up
yes.
at the same pace. So they
and we have the inventory of petcoke, so we will be maintaining the same percentage.
Correct. Understand, sir. Yeah. Thank you, sir. That's all from my end.
Okay.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the last question for today. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Vaibhav Agarwal for closing comments. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. On behalf of Phillip Capital India Private Limited, we'd like to thank the manager JK Cement for the call, and many thanks for joining the call. Thank you very much, sir. Then you should now come to the call. Thank you.
Thank you, Vaibhav.
Thank you, everybody.
On behalf of Phillip Capital India Private Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you all for joining. You may now disconnect your lines.